Hello and welcome, I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. So despite my background, we're not going to be talking about Skyrim today. Instead, we're going to be talking about a new beta patch. Oops, just closed the tab. There's a new beta patch available on Steam. To access it, you need to go to Crusader Kings 2, go to Properties, go to Betas, and then opt in to the beta 2.0.2.2. Use at your own risk. Now this is supposed to be compatible. Maybe. I mean, kind of. It says right here, it's important to understand that this is a beta. Only do this if you want to help us test patch 2.0.2. We cannot guarantee that it actually fixes what it's supposed to, or that it does not introduce new problems. So this is not an official patch. But, that being said, I'm very excited about it, and I think that I'm going to try to convince pretty much everyone in the world to use it. So, let's talk about the changes. And these will probably be all the same when the actual patch goes live. There might just be a few additional ones. They also might rebalance some of it. But there's some really good stuff in here. So first off, major changes. Added a depose anti-pope casus belli. This means that if you create an anti-pope, people will be able to attack you simply because they want to depose the anti-pope. This is really good at limiting the number of anti-popes that are going to be in the Catholic world. Added an anti-king faction. The leader usurps the liege's primary title, deposes the anti-pope, and passes papal investiture. The pope can be called into the resulting war. So this is awesome too. Like if you are a Catholic and you're in a realm where there's an anti-pope and you don't like the fact that there's an anti-pope corroding the church, then you can just use that faction and then become the king and switch to papal investiture. I'm wondering if you're allowed to use this to actually pass papal investiture before the year 1000. You can't actually use papal investiture until the year 1000. You cannot choose to change it to that. So I'm wondering if this automatically institutes papal investiture ahead of schedule, which would be interesting. Not passable to set up an anti-pope within 50 years of one being forcibly deposed. Again, good to limit the number of anti-popes. Fixed a bug in Linux where the game became totally unplayable if you alt-tab. Doesn't really apply to me, but you know, it's good for the people who play with Linux. Now possible to play in Iron Man mode with the ruler designer and mods. Awesome. Some people like Iron Man mode just because it prevents you from cheating. And that's a perfectly good thing. But you can't get achievements if you use Ruler Designer or any mods. Naturally. Makes sense. Significantly reduced, this is the big one. Significantly reduced the amount of event spawn troops across the board to better reflect the rebalanced levies. There's what we were looking for. Fixed a crash with the Mac launcher. Doesn't matter to me. Minor changes. These are also very good. West African pagans can no longer have higher crown authority than low. It'd be nice if they also fixed it so that the West African pagans couldn't change their succession law, and that they also got the pagan attrition penalty, like bonus, as a defensive pagan religion. You know, they still need to work on the West African pagans. They're kind of messed up. Fraticelli now get investiture laws. Waived the non-neighboring rule for theocracy title grants, but made it moddable. So, waived the non-neighboring rule. It used to be the case that you could not give out a bishopric to a county. Okay, let me give an example. Okay, a bishopric. We're talking about the holding, right? You've got castles, towns, bishoprics. It used to be the case that you could only grant 10% of your realm to bishops if you're Catholic. And as another requirement, you could not grant 2 bishoprics to two county-level bishops next to each other. So what they're saying here is that they've waived the non-neighboring rule. You can now do that, but you still can't do it more than 10%. You're also now allowed to grant one higher than Duke tier title to a theocracy. Now, when it says higher than Duke, I'm wondering if that's supposed to mean higher than Count. Because higher than Duke would mean, like, you could theoretically have a king or emperor level theocracy, which is crazy. Blocked granting away your capital county if you have moved your capital. If you haven't been paying attention to the Crusader Kings 2 forums, there was a guy who conquered the entire world in 25 years by abusing the become a king ambition, and then playing as a pagan and moving his capital to every kingdom, allowing him to always have free casus belli against everyone in those kingdoms. And the way he did it was he would take the ambition, and normally you can only do it on the one kingdom you've chosen, you know, wherever your capital is located. But if you give away your county, your capital gets moved. So what they're doing here, they blocked granting away your capital county if you've moved your capital. So you're no longer able to do that strategy. Disallowed revoking and plotting to revoke a title that you just gave to someone. This is awesome. I think it's great because I've actually mentioned it in a few playthroughs where you give away tons of land and then you just plot to kill the people and you take all their money. And you shouldn't be able to do that. Anti-popes now correctly lose their status if they change religion. Makes sense. You can't be a Tengri anti-pope. Anti-popes now lose their status if their liege is not the same religion. Interesting. Fixed some memory and thread safety issues with the trigger check variable. Added a block flag to first-generation Jewish courtiers, preventing conversion demands. So I guess that's just to prevent the Jews from kind of falling apart really, really, really early. Increase the revolt risk for wrong culture and religion a bit. I love vagueness in patch notes. It's, you know, a bit. How much? A bit. It's a metric unit. A bit. Anti-popes now have papal clothes. That's good. You can now be independent. You have to be independent to create an anti-pope. That's great. No more dukes creating random anti-popes. Added Jewish buildings and Jewish retinues, Jewtenues as they're called. Fixed a bug with patricians pressing claims. Improved the pagan converts to spouses or concubines' religion decisions to work with all heresies. Interesting. Mending the schism is now also possible for Orthodox heresies that have taken over and become the main branch. So let's say you become a heresy of the Orthodox faith, and then you want to mend the schism and turn all of Catholicism and your heresy of Orthodox into the main Catholic religion, then or Christian religion, excuse me. It's really messy dealing with all these Christian things. Like, Christianity defines Catholicism and Catholic and Orthodox. Catholic and Orthodox are subsections of Christianity. It's just annoying. It's annoying. Tweaked various religious events. Don't know what that means, but fine. Lowered the mean time to happen for certain story events. That's good. That means that they'll happen more often. Fixed a bug with the de facto liege of primary holdings. Now patricians will be picked sometimes when using the random character button. That's good. A new trait has been added. This is most likely, actually, I would be willing to bet, going to cause the save files that we have to be completely incompatible. Anytime you add a new trait, it changes the total list of traits, and it's been known to cause problems in the past. So we'll see if it's actually save file compatible or not, but probably not. Fixed a bug where independent characters couldn't be assigned a religious title. Okay. Fixed an issue where liege took barony vassals' entire county as capital when he didn't own the county. That might be related to when you take a liege's last holding and then they just steal someone else's title. I wonder if that's the case. Fixed a missed check for unlanded when usurping a title. Fixed crash bug when looking at the religious game and setup. These are just minor changes. Corrected Orthodox Patriarch name lists. There's still a couple important things, so we're going to keep going through them line by line. Corrected Orthodox Patriarch name lists. Added missing reasons tooltip for why you cannot make an anti-pope of a bishop of another religion. Added missing crusade names for some heresies. Fixed a bug with ending the Shepherd's Crusade. Fixed some triggers that weren't correctly checking for the Jewish religion group. Non-Jewish rulers with Jewish counselors can now get some special technology improvement events. Ooh, interesting. Non-Jewish rulers with Jewish counselors can now get some special technology improvement events. So, you know how you randomly get that event that says a Jewish person has arrived, and he's normally just a completely randomly spawned character. He's not really that great. Now, there's actually potentially good reason to use him, because you could get some technology. Fixed a very rare crash in combat. Marriage, betrothal, and concubinage can no longer be arranged while imprisoned. Seems good. Now they just need to prevent pregnancy. Fixed bug in the Crusade Casus Belli where a courtier could not get the king title he deserved. I've noticed a few Catholic crusades where the war ends and nothing actually changes. It's very strange. So hopefully that's the bug they're referring to. There's now automatic peace with rebels if you get a complete victory. This is good in two ways. First off, it's good because it's less micro. It's good for people who are just playing normally. It's also good because it prevents cheating, right? You can dismiss the surrender of a rebel group, and then you permanently get a plus 50 bonus with all your vassals if you just dismiss their surrender. So that's fine. Fixed a bug where the unit reorganization window didn't pop up and split off troops that was not selected. That's good. That means I probably need to go and modify my keyboard shortcuts mod again because I had made a workaround. So my keyboard shortcuts mod is probably not compatible with this patch yet. It will be very, very soon, especially the day that it goes live. But that's good. Fixed the invasion CB for Muslims, so it becomes invalid when the target converts religion. Oh my gosh, that's amazing! That's such a good change! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So normally, okay, Muslims, right? They have an invasion CB. It's not quite as good as the Tengri get, but they can use it to declare war on a Catholic kingdom, for instance. Most commonly, the Umayyads in Spain will take over all of Spain, and then they'll attack Aquitaine, for example. Declare the invasion of Aquitaine. And the defender had this option that they can convert to the enemy religion. but the invasion CB would no longer, it would still be valid. You just say, okay, that's nice. I'm still going to take your land. Now, taking the decision to actually convert to Muslim prevents you from continuing your attack, which is good. That is cool. Fixed a bug where a regiment managed to detach itself completely from its army. City and bishopric rulers can no longer get claims through inheritance. That's good. That just fixes messy stuff from happening. Weird things like random, just completely random. I remember one playthrough I had, like Hungary just somehow became a republic. Just out of the blue. The entire thing. I think it was when I was playing with Northern Lion and Mathis. And that's related to city and bishopric rulers getting claims and then somehow inheriting. So they become a mayor, they get a claim, the guy dies, they become the king, and now everything is a republic. It's just messy. Shouldn't happen. Corrected several heretic religion descriptions, added some missing Fraticelli College of Cardinal text, added a minimum cap for bottleneck choke points. Minimum cap. Okay. Made sure, minimum cap. So I guess if you have like 100 men and you do a bottleneck, then it has to be a certain minimum. This is huge. Made sure the Vikings have enough ships in 867. I want to replay Holy Warfare, so I actually start off with boats. That'd be amazing. So that's a really good change. Strengthen the 867 starting positions for Rurik, Dyer the Stranger, and the Khazars. Added Jewish Khazar names. Fixed some minor fixes to male Iberian names. And a couple more good changes. Don't go away just yet. AI is adjusted succession marriage reasoning. Better at calculating the odds of victory when attacking. Should now be more careful about attacking with inferior numbers. So basically the AI got better, which is good. This is so big. Oh my god, the game's been out for like 2 years and they finally incorporated this. This is like the biggest change. The AI will now re-raise its forces if current levies are significantly smaller than the potential that it can raise. It's like it should be in the major changes note. It's huge, absolutely huge. It does the AI is going to do what the player does now. The AI will also now use its spy master to suppress factions. They will use their chancellor to improve relations with vassal faction members. That's good, so they can prevent factions from happening. More careful about appointing disgruntled spy masters. Pretty good change. I love this. Will now always honor the terms of an existing betrothal. It's good that they made it so that they would stop trying to trick you. You know, you do a matrilineal betrothal and then they come back and offer a regular marriage. But even still, in the current version of the game, you'd arrange a matrilineal betrothal and then sometimes they just would not do it. They would just say no. Even though they wouldn't try to trick you, they'd still refuse the betrothal, which is not fair. So now they will always honor it. And then there's various modding exports. These are not going to affect most people. But, so apparently, yeah, you have to have the minimum bottleneck is apparently 300. And that's about it. So big changes. Very happy about it. I definitely would recommend that you go to Steam, go to your Crusader Kings 2, go to Properties, go over to Betas, and then enable the Beta 2.0.2.2. But be aware it's probably not going to function with your current save. So that is the upcoming patch. Hopefully this helps you out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See you again soon, everyone.